One early morning a couple of days ago, I had to make an unusual pre-dawn trip to Branson, Missouri so I could present an award of merit to a great organization who was being honored for their incredible volunteer efforts. It was a unique occasion, but the thing that was the most unusual for me was that I was up and out before the sunrise. Well, for those of you that don't know, I am not the quintessential morning person. Honestly, I'm not even vaguely a morning person. So I was deeply disturbed when I discovered that there was more than one 5 o'clock in the morning. But that's my own issue, and we won't go into that right now. However, as I was driving south on Highway 65, I began to notice something on this particularly peaceful morning off in the east. I began to see the most glorious blue sky beginning to birth over the horizon. And on top of it was a soft pink crown that made the blue even more splendid. And in the expanse of that picture was the most perfectly placed crescent moon hanging low above the black silhouetted earth. It felt so much like the Lord was rolling up the sun from the lower regions and allowing me to take in the spectacle with this patience, grace, that was like cold maple syrup leaving the bottle while I'm craving my first bite of pancakes. But as I watched, it occurred to me that something I had heard all my life was in stark contrast to this unexpected lesson. You've heard this quote, "It's always darkest before the dawn." I've got news for you. That's a lie. It isn't darkest before the dawn. Today was actually the most beautiful watercolor wonder of God that I could have ever imagined. The Lord was sweetly announcing his God-designed intention for a new day, and I was all for it. So I made a reconsidering of the things that we say and think when we attempt to make ourselves feel better about our relevant personal experiences. We sometimes lean into twisted cliche living in order to filter the hardships of our life. That led me to go back and consider other cliches that aren't exactly true when we try to justify our hurts too. Here's a few that stuck out to me, and one of those was, "The curiosity killed the cat." Now, that's a unique one. Or how about, "Money is the root of all evil"? By the way, it's the love of money, not money itself, but we're not going to talk about that now. But how about this ever famous, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger"? Now listen, that first one, "Curiosity killed the cat," was supposed to be a cautionary tale about sticking your nose into things that might backfire on you later. But do you know what the Lord loves? Yes, I heard somebody say it, a cheerful giver, but that's not what we're talking about right now. While that's absolutely true, in context of this reflection, I want to tell you this. The Lord loves a truth seeker. Jeremiah tells us that the Lord said to his people, "Seek me with all of your heart, and you will find me." God is not afraid of your curiosity. Genuine truth seekers who are willing to set aside their prejudices and seek the evidence of his design will always end up closer to him. 2 Timothy 2:15 says, "Test everything. Hold on to what's good." You see, the filter of the Spirit is like a sifter that lets through what's good and screens out what's bad. And the Lord even says in Malachi, to prove him. Holy curiosity brings true revelation and assurance. But that last cliche, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," people that have a heart attack will tell you otherwise. Others who have survived cancer treatments will probably have a different outlook as well. Scars are real, and they cause challenges that we might not ever want. But we need to focus on the answer of the Lord. I mentioned those convenient cliches because cliche living involves instant gratification. It defeats us in a couple of ways. First, it gives us permission to bury our heads in the sand and replace our position with delusional indifference. But secondly, it minimizes God's direction and design. And that's where my early morning observation comes in. When I saw that beautiful morning unfold like a flower, it seemed like the Lord was lifting the sun through the painted horizon and saying, I've been spinning this earth every single day since I created a creation, and because I want to give you one more opportunity to see my mercy renewed with this brand new sunrise. Did you ever notice it's usually when night settles in that sickness is worse? Fears become escalated, doubts seem to have more weight. But night is the time God is reconstructing his launch pad for you. And he's refueling your rocket so you can ride the new heights of mercy that's coming tomorrow. What you didn't see in the darkness is that God is always working. When you're shaken or scared, he's working. When you're overwhelmed in your lack of understanding, he's working. Just like Tiny Troy on Head and Shoulders commercial, he's always working. Right now, if you're consumed with your situation, look to the east and say, God, I know you're working there on my tomorrow. God, I trust you with the plan. God, I can't wait to see your sunrise on my design. This is my hope. So from now on, when you want to say it's darkest before dawn, don't. Change your vocabulary. Say, I can't wait for mercy to rise in the morning. It's not just a sun. It's a proclamation of a new start for you. Change sunrise to mercy rise. It'll redirect your world. Think about that.